Good morning, family and friends. This is our last morning in Romania, and we're packing up the car to head off for Warsaw, where we're going to be staying with some friends tonight, and then on to Lithuania the next day. Still don't know what the situation is going to be like in Ukraine. My own opinions on it are probably biased by the news sources that I'm reading, but it seems to me that things are not going well for Russia, and they've made a lot of mistakes, and they've underestimated everyone else and they've overestimated themselves. There's been quite a few POWs taken by the Ukrainian forces. Several Russian units have completely surrendered, either just showing up and throwing up their hands and not even bothering to fight, or getting out of their vehicles and running for it, leaving fully operational military vehicles behind. This is day 2, so it's been about 29 hours since the attack began, and we're still kind of in shock, constantly connecting with people in Kiev, family and friends that we have, doing everything we can to maintain communication with the Doctor, иди сюда! Sorry, Doctor went wandering into somebody else's house. We're just maintaining communication with people, and that's the important thing right now. If the opportunity comes to help somebody, we're going to take it. I really think that I just wish there was something useful that I could be doing. I feel like there is, but at the same time, I got to keep my family safe and secure, so that's number one priority. So we're still not, I definitely think that Ukraine has a fighting chance here. The Russians have no motivation, and the recruitment centers in Ukraine can't process paperwork fast enough to sign up more troops. It's, I know that that's not the situation in Russia right now. They are conscripting people in Donetsk and Lugansk at gunpoint and forcing them to put on a uniform so that they can dig trenches or whatever. Interviews by independent journalists with the people that Russia dislocated out of Lugansk and Donetsk, and they took them into Russia somewhere, but there's been some independent journalists who have managed to get interviews with them, and they say that they didn't want to leave, they want to go back, and that they're Ukrainians. None of the Russian propaganda is adding up, and I don't think most of the world is believing it. There were protests all over the world last night, but the most important ones, I think, were the ones in Moscow and St. Petersburg. 1,700 Russians were arrested for protesting against Putin's government, but they didn't make much of a dent in the crowds that we saw gathered on the square. They weren't on, the video that I saw was the square that's right in, it's right next to the Red Square in Moscow. It's where the Bolshoi Theater is. And then obviously there were protests in Munich and all over the place, usually outside the consulates or embassy of Russia. Russia's taken a really hard economic hit. Their stock market basically collapsed yesterday, fell 40%. The amount of wealth that was lost is just mind-boggling, and it's I still don't really understand what Putin's motivation is, what his end goal is here. I think that he understands that NATO is not a threat to Russia. NATO's a defensive alliance. But I really can't understand what he's getting at here. I guess he wants to have a puppet regime in Ukraine, but Ukraine rejected his puppet regime in 2014, and they will do it again. The video blogs that I've been watching by the Ukrainian soldiers show me a highly motivated group of young men and women that are ready for anything and ready to defend their freedom and defend their country. So hopes are high. Let's hope this doesn't last forever. Maybe someday we can go back to Lviv. But in the meantime, we are headed for Poland. So take care of yourselves out there, and we'll be in touch.